In other words, our economic system is screwed, blued, and tattooed.
Welcome to WatchMojo, and today we're looking at prognostic SNL sketches that are either huge coincidences or Christopher Walken really can see the future.
Hey, how did you get these powers anyway?
I don't know.
Number 10. Obamacare website technical troubles. This 2013 episode opened with Kate McKinnon as Kathleen Sebelius, who was then the U.S. Secretary of Health and Human Services.
Now, a lot of folks have been talking about our new healthcare enrollment website, how it's been crashing and freezing and shutting down and stalling and not working and breaking and sucking.
The sketch takes shots at healthcare.gov, which experienced technical difficulties after launching on October 1st of that year. SNL accurately captures the frustration that many users experienced, although even the writers probably thought it was an exaggeration when they claimed that the site can only accommodate 6 people at once.
Millions of Americans are visiting healthcare.gov, which is great news. Unfortunately, the site was only designed to handle 6 users at a time.
Turns out that this oddly specific number was dead on. Only a few days after this sketch aired, it was revealed that the Obamacare site received 4.7 million unique visits in the first 24 hours. In a war room meeting, it was revealed that only, quote, 6 enrollments had occurred thus far.
There were only 6 health insurance enrollments on October 1st nationwide.
Number 9. Donuts for breakfast. The same year that Caitlyn Jenner became a Wheaties spokesperson, John Belushi endorsed the cereal that turned him into a decathlon gold medalist, Little Chocolate Donuts.
I logged a lot of miles training for that day, and I downed a lot of donuts. Little chocolate donuts. They taste good, and they've got the sugar I need to get me going in the morning.
While Belushi was actually the captain of his school's football and wrestling teams, donuts and cigarettes are no way for athletes to start the day. Yet this fake commercial from 1977 foreshadowed the rise of unhealthy cereal. By the 80s, General Mills introduced chocolate donuts with a Z, while Ralston gave us Dunkin' Donuts cereal in glazed and chocolate flavors.
You get delicious, crunchy little donuts by the hundred.
Breakfast hasn't gotten much more nutritious with the development of Cap'n Crunch's Choco Donuts and Homer's Cinnamon Donut cereal. Anyone can make a sugary Cheerios clone, but we still think the cereal industry owes some money to Belushi's estate.
Little chocolate donuts, the donuts of champions.
Number 8. Live-action Disney remakes nobody demanded. By 2015, it became clear that Disney was committed to remaking all of their animated classics, whether people asked for them or not. This SNL sketch predicted not just one, but 2 live-action Disney remakes that had yet to be announced.
Now it's time for them to pay dearly.
The trailer parody stars Dwayne Johnson as Bambi, who is out for blood after the death of his mother. It's essentially a Disney-esque Fast and Furious movie, with Vin Diesel as Thumper and Michelle Rodriguez as Fallon. Although Sarah Polley likely won't take this direction, it was announced in 2023 that she was in talks to helm a photorealistic remake of the 1942 film. That same year, news broke that Johnson would be starring in another Disney remake, bringing Maui of Moana into live action.
We are so excited and happy to announce that a live-action reimagining of Moana is in the works.
Number 7. Martha Stewart, All Natural. Martha Stewart was among Anna Gasteyer's most acclaimed impersonations during her SNL tenure.
Sleigh ride, caroling, and wassail. These are just some of the things that remind us all of Christmas.
Gasteyer has cited a particular Stewart sketch as the one that solidified her place on the show, Martha Stewart's Topless Christmas. Premiering in December 1996, the sketch plays out like a typical Martha Stewart special with just one major difference. Well, 2 differences.
Also, we'll learn how to make beeswax candles. They really say Yuletide.
The sketch seemed to be sending up Stewart's risque Spy magazine cover from that year, but it also foretold a future wardrobe choice. We can't help but wonder if the real Stewart had Gasteyer in mind when she went topless for a Green Mountain Coffee video in 2022.
Just look at this. A thing of natural beauty.
Wearing nothing but a white apron, the 81-year-old Stewart made SNL fans feel as if Christmas had come earlier.
Martha Stewart's Home for the Holidays. Topless Christmas Special. Wednesday night at 8. Parental discretion advised.
Number 6. Prideful Beer Ads. Schmidt's Gay marked one of Adam Sandler and Chris Farley's funniest pairings on SNL.
No water?
The 1991 sketch is in the spirit of old-school beer commercials, with a couple of guy friends, some cold ones, and a pool. Instead of splashing around with beautiful women, though, the friends find themselves drowning in beautiful men. At the time, this played with expectations given how overtly heterosexual beer advertising was. In recent years, numerous alcohol brands have sponsored LGBTQIA+ events and strived to make ads more inclusive. Some ads have been more divisive than others. A 2023 Bud Light video featuring transgender influencer Dylan Mulvaney leading to a boycott. Still, Schmidt's Gay was ahead of the curve, with brewski bottles coming to embrace a prideful rainbow.
I think I'm gonna like this. Yeah.
Number 5. Fallon of the Future. Jimmy Fallon joined SNL in 1998, but that year's Christmas show predicted bigger things to come. With Alec Baldwin acting like a Scrooge, the host is visited by a couple of spirits, including a future Fallon.
Apparently, I've become a huge star in the future.
Jimmy says that he's become a prominent celebrity and even hosts the show on December 12th, 2011.
I have to admit, I was really nervous when they asked me to host the show. Really. In fact, right before I came out tonight, I was so scared that I nearly took a Baldwin in my pants.
There's no way this could have come to fruition since December 12th was on a Monday that year. However, Fallon was only 5 days off, hosting on December 17th, 2011. By that point, Fallon was a fixture of late night with his own show. In another Christmas Carol-esque monologue, a 2005 Lindsay Lohan is visited by her future self, who suggests that 2007 is going to be a rocky year, which it was.
But I have a question. Why am I so short in the future? Because our bones turn to dust. Because you drank nothing but Red Bull.
Number 4. Inflation only getting worse in the 21st century. On October 1978, President Jimmy Carter delivered a televised address about inflation. SNL parodied the speech shortly after with Dan Aykroyd as Carter, arguing that inflation is good for America.
Inflation is our friend.
If the prices go up, we can all feel like big shots. Carter suggests that by the year 2000, blue-collar workers will make $568,000 annually, and most citizens will be millionaires.
Everyone will feel like a big shot.
Although those figures still feel exaggerated, $1 million doesn't carry as much weight as it did back then. Likewise, $4,000 suits, $75 cigars, and $600,000 cars might be luxuries, but they're not unheard of in today's economy.
I believe the watchwords for the 80s should be, let's party.
Even if the numbers aren't precise, the sketch is just as relevant now, with inflation surging since 2021 and seemingly no solutions in sight. Number 3. Kevin Spacy being Kevin Spacy. When Kevin Spacy was met with a swarm of allegations in 2017, some were shocked while others thought the worst-kept secret in Hollywood was out of the bag. We're curious how much SNL knew, as a sketch from 20 years earlier feels like a warning in retrospect.
This is an old favorite of mine.
Spacy uses his monologue as an opportunity to show off his singing chops. It would be fairly straightforward if it weren't for the subtitles accompanying the sketch.
You lie awake and think about the girl.
The text claims that Spacy threatened the showrunners into letting him sing, and that he's, quote, a very sick individual with severe emotional problems.
You'd be hers if only she would call.
The sketch proceeds to claim that, quote, the bad Kevin demanded a separate dressing room and that he always plays psychos for a reason. A roast or an omen?
Call me crazy, but I like that song.
Number 2. The Looming Tower. On March 18, 2000, Colin Quinn went over several seemingly unrelated Weekend Update stories that soon collided in tragic ways. First, Quinn brings up George W. Bush, suggesting that his concern over gas prices could lead to a war if elected president.
Texas Governor George W. Bush this week blamed President Clinton for the recent increase in gas prices and said if he were president, he'd abolish the gas tax and, if necessary, go to war with Alaska and steal their oil.
This is followed by a story about the NYPD with an image of the Twin Towers in the background. Quinn proceeds to talk about Osama bin Laden, who was 18 months from enacting the September 11th attacks.
Hong Kong-based news magazine reported this week that suspected terrorist leader Osama bin Laden is dying of kidney failure. The reclusive bin Laden is reportedly hiding in the mountains of Afghanistan and is on a dialysis machine being peddled by two of his followers.
After that, Quinn mentions a death sentence in Pakistan, which is where bin Laden would die in 2011. Finally, Quinn discusses a flight where the pilot was attacked, forcing passengers to rise up.
Fortunately, order was restored and the aircraft was allowed to crash on its own.
The fact that these news items are covered in succession is especially unsettling. Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. Donald Trump, the next Ross Perot. The 90s were a simpler time when Ross Perot running for president was the craziest thing imaginable. In an October 1999 sketch, Perot confesses that he'll never be president.
Apparently, fellas, I wasn't insane enough for the American people.
Although he's found two other Reform Party candidates, Pat Buchanan and Donald Trump.
Now I'm going to ask you gentlemen a few questions.
Go ahead, shoot.
Buchanan never made it to the Oval Office, but Trump would almost 17 years later. When this sketch aired, Trump was mounting a presidential campaign, eyeing Oprah to run alongside him. SNL brought up his political aspirations again in November 1999, with Trump revealing that the presidency had been on his to-do list since age 14.
All I got left is this president thing here, and then I'm gonna build the world's tallest building on Mars.
Instead of Oprah, Trump announces game show contestant John Carpenter as his running mate, which could still happen depending on how far he gets in 2024.
How do you want to start the show tonight, all right?
Which SNL prediction gave you a mix of chuckles and chills? Let us know in the comments.
I see you on the phone with a man from FedEx.
Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips from WatchMojo and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.